Hey folks, Ronnie A from Fit Coach here, and let's see how quickly I can revamp your diet. Let's just dump right in, right? So for a typical day for most of us, it's just a race against the clock to even get out of the house, right? So forget breakfast, but we're hungry, so we have to eat something. A lot of us will stop at a drive-through at a local deli if we have a cafe inside of our office, and quickly pick up a muffin and coffee, usually cream and sugar. And I think for most of us, that doesn't sound too bad. I think most of us think we eat reasonably, and that certainly seems like it fits the bill. We'll find out later that it does not. And then how do you feel an hour or two after you have this meal, right? You got your head in your hand, you're feeling lethargic, you're thinking you're out of shape, you just feel terrible, you feel blue, you can't think right. And you're thinking about is, I need to pick me up, I need my next meal. So when lunchtime comes, you didn't plan ahead. You didn't have time in the morning to pack a lunch with you. So you're just left to, kind of wing it. And what happens? A couple of your friends tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, we're going to a fast food restaurant. Come along. Okay, sure. Except I'll just have the small 2 cheeseburger meal, get small fries, won't supersize. I'll have a diet soda. Can't be that bad. I'm still reasonably okay today. And then, of course, same as we did this morning with that terrible lunch, 2 p.m. coma hits and you're flat out on your desk, right? I think we've all been through this. And then you say, well, I need to get some energy. I need to eat something. Well, I'm not going to eat potato chips because I'm trying to be reasonably good. So I'm going to go with pretzels. So I'll gobble down a bag of pretzels, make my way through the rest of the day, and finally I'm ready to face my commute home. I start thinking about, what can we make for dinner? I'm tired. I don't feel like making a really elaborate meal, so I'm going to go with the old crowd favorite. I know my kids love. I know my spouse loves. We're going to have spaghetti and meatballs. Tons and tons of refined carbohydrates, tons and tons of fatty meat. A really, really poor choice to eat as a full solid meal. But let's just take a look at, I don't know, maybe I pushed it down the wrong road, but maybe to a lot of you that didn't seem like too bad of a day, but let's see how that shapes up. So this is the Lose It app that I use. And you can see in here, my budget before exercise is $16.07. And I can add back in any calories I burn during exercise, which is normally 250 to 300 calories. But look at our breakfast, that seemingly harmless little muffin and my coffee with cream and sugar. That's my little tasty treat in the morning. 608 calories for breakfast, right? That's more than a third of my total base budget for calories for a day. And then the lunch that, you had your diet soda, you had everything on the small side, still 852 calories, not to mention the terrible nutrient content that I'll show you in a minute. And if you'll notice here, I had these 2 items switched. The pretzels came in at 228. Not terrible, just from strictly calorie count perspective. I'd like it to be under 200, but I'll give you that, it's ballpark. And for dinner, 764 calories for your spaghetti and meatballs. My dinners are very rarely over 500, and they're certainly not riddled with carbohydrates or refined carbohydrates. So all in all, it's a pretty bad day, and let's just take a look at how bad that really is. So you came in almost 100 grams of fat, right? More importantly, you came in at 30 grams of saturated fat. You should be under 15. Your cholesterol, 390, you shouldn't go over 300. Your sodium, 3,600, you should really be under 3,000, if not under 2,500. Carbohydrates, 307 is huge. I think I'm usually around 150, and I'm not on paleo or Atkins or any of those low-carb diets. Fiber, very low, 15 grams. Sugars, the RDA for added sugar, not sugar found in food naturally, is 37 grams. Now, I'd say most of this sugar from this day of eating is added sugar. So 88 grams is huge, way too much sugar. Protein is 90. Anybody who is a meat eater will not have a problem reaching their protein goal. So that's perfectly fine. The 14% just makes it look worse off because you had so many carbohydrates. So really, let's see how we can do this day over and start it much better or do it over much better. So here are the changes that we make. For breakfast, you got to add in a protein. You can't just have a big tub of carbohydrate, especially refined. Number 2, remove the refined carbohydrates. There's nothing wrong with having carbohydrate in your breakfast, but it better be whole grain. Coffee, you got to get rid of the sugar in your coffee. You got to get rid of the calories in your drinks overall. If you need to use a little skim milk, I guess it's better than nothing. But I promise you this, because I used to take it light and sweet, and I did for many years. Once you get used to it, you're not going to want to go back. In fact, many years after I started going to no sugar skim milk only, I went through a drive-through, got the wrong order. They gave me my old light and sweet, and I literally spit it out, went back and got a new one. It just won't be acceptable to you anymore. Sugar is a habit that is, caused by your brain really going bananas over it, and it makes you crave it. You don't need it, and you'll get over it, I promise you. So work on that, please. The fourth one here, piece of fruit for essential vitamins, for your fiber, just for taste. Make you feel full. You don't want to, start feeling hungry at 10 o'clock. You want to make it to lunch and really feel, full of energy and ready to take things on. When it comes to your lunch, one of the biggest things you can do is plan ahead. Pack your own lunch. I do it every single day. It takes a few minutes, and I know exactly what I'm putting into my body. I have a plan. I'm not winging it when somebody taps me on the shoulder. I'm not making a choice that's in front of me when I'm already hungry and need something to pick me up and need a little jolt of enthusiasm. So I'm thinking, hey, let's all go out to eat. Pack your own lunch. Change your bread from that garbage whole wheat refined stuff that looks like whole wheat but really isn't, or white bread, God forbid, if you're still eating that nonsense. Get rid of that. Eat the Ezekiel, or I use Alvarado Street. It's the sprouted whole grain, which is different. It's going to take you a few days to get used to it, but when you do, you don't want to go back. It's a good bread. Put on a nut butter and a tablespoon of all fruit. Put on some lean turkey. Use mustard, not mayonnaise. Don't put the cheese on. That's a waste. And then instead of French fries, have fruit as your side or dessert. And if it's not good enough for you that you're just doing something great for your body, wait till you feel how you feel at 2 o'clock after eating 2 meals like this. You're not head on your desk. You're bring it on. I'm taking the world down today. You're going to feel great. I'm never tired at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Snack time for me, usually 3 o'clock. Want to hold me over to dinner? Try veggies with a hummus dip, right? Do carrots and celery. Don't go for pretzels. Don't go for more refined carbohydrate. Your body's had enough with spiking blood sugar and your pancreas creating insulin to deal with it, and then the crash afterwards. I mean, that's a terrible way to continually live your life and put your body through that up and down. For dinner, lean protein. Don't ever eat pasta as your meal. I mean, if you have to have a side, make it a side dish, make it whole grain. But you need a lean protein. Bury your plate with a salad. Make sure it's the leafy greens, not the iceberg garbage. You want your kale. You want your spring mix. You want your spinach. There's so many leafy lean vegetables that have so much. They're so full of nutrients. They're full of protein. They're just great for you. Load them up. Low calorie dressing, not too much of it. Make it at home. The trick I learned recently: make that stuff at home where you know what you're putting into it. There's no chemicals. You can control how much of whatever you need to put in it goes in it. It's a great way to do it, and it's delicious and it's fresh. It's fantastic. And if you need to, if that's not enough, usually that's enough for me. But if you need a half a cup of brown rice for texture, for satiety, you want to get an little extra fiber, go with a half a cup of brown rice. And this meal certainly came in way under in calories. I got my 500 calorie deficit and with room to play. So you can add a little bit more in here if you needed to, if you were hungry. So here's what that looks like. Let me. It's gonna be really hard for you to see this, so I'll just talk you through it. The breakfast was egg white omelet with spinach, bell pepper, onion, which to me is gross, so I wouldn't put it in there. But most people do like it, and it's full of nutrients. And an orange, right? And then topped it off with your coffee. I use skim milk only, no sugar. Try not to drink your calories at all. The skim milk in here is the only time I drink calories during a day. For lunch, I mentioned the Alvarado bread that I have. I put an almond butter and a tablespoon of fruit spread. It actually is really good. I'm telling you, when you desensitize your tongue to all the fat and the sugar and the salt that's in restaurant foods, and you just eat real whole foods, it's delicious and you feel fantastic. I have an apple a day. I believe in that old adage, keeps the doctor away. I have one of those every single day. I love it. It's filling. It's got fiber. It's got nutrients. It's great. For dinner, like I said, I'm way under the 764 pasta meal. This is skinless grilled chicken breast, your mixed green salad, your oil and vinegar dressing, and a half a cup of brown rice. This is 427 calories. And your snack, celery sticks, carrot sticks dipped in hummus. You need that crunch. It tastes good, and you feel good because you know you're eating healthy whole foods, which is really fantastic for your body. That's 160 calories, but more importantly, let's look at the nutrients now for this meal. and how different it is. So your total fat, half of what it was before at 97 or 96, whatever it was. More importantly, look at your saturated fat, which used to be 30 is now 7. You're way under where you should be. It's great for your body. Keep away from that saturated fat. Your cholesterol was 390. You should be under 300. You're killing it at 82 milligrams or 83. Your sodium, I said under 2,500 on their best day. We're at 1,500. We're way under. It's fantastic. Carbohydrates, I mentioned I was usually around 150. This is 147. Way under the 307 we had in the other meal plan. Fiber, 26 instead of 15. Sugars, now this may look a little high. It was 90 in the 90s, and now it's 68. But remember, I said added sugar. 35 grams of that sugar that you're seeing in 68.5 is just the orange and the apple, natural, whole food. So your added sugar is a little over 30. I mean, so you're under the 37. You're doing great, and the protein again isn't a problem. So all that leads you, instead of having your head hanging on the desk, you're going to feel like this. I promise you. You're going to feel great mentally. You're going to feel great physically. Just give it a time to get used to the change. Your body's used to that crap. So let's sum it up. What do we learn? Number 1, stop eating out. Number 1, stop eating out. 2, and by that I mean make healthier choices. Not only that, you're going to save money. Number 2, remove refined carbohydrates. That muffin's got to be gone. Choose whole grains. Right? The extra fiber will be more filling and prevent your blood sugar spikes. Therefore, you're not crashing head on the desk a little later. Number 3, eat more fruit and vegetables. Obvious reasons. They got fiber. They've got great nutrients. They fill you up, and they're fantastic for you. You'll feel so good after. You'll have all that energy. Number 3, eat more fruits and vegetables. Number 4, pack your lunch. Use natural ingredients, not processed, right? So don't wait for somebody to tap you on the shoulder and say, we're going to Subway where Jared lost all his weight, and then you go and get the meatball sub, which is absolutely awful for you. And you certainly don't want French fries. You want your fruit and vegetables for your sides or desserts. For snacks, you can't go wrong with some of the things I mentioned earlier, but the list is fruit, whole fruit, not dried fruit, nuts, seeds, veggies. If you have to have yogurt, make sure it's organic, non-fat, and don't get the sweetened kind. It'll fool you into thinking you're eating something good, and it's not. Dinner, lean protein, and a big salad. Your protein, I eat a lot of skinless chicken breasts. I eat lean beef, which is the sirloin, sometimes 90-10 hamburgers. I don't eat much of the other meats. If you want ground turkey, if there's a lean cut of pork, I don't eat it. You can go with that. Eat the giant salad. And again, if you need the whole grain, have a half a cup of that. It'll give you the fiber. It'll make you feel full, and it's variety. So that's it. I'm not sure where I left off on time. I'll check back in a second. But follow those steps. Give it time to take root, and you will feel so much better. You'll save money. You'll lose weight, and you'll have so much energy. Please try this. Thank you.